Travelers of Reddit, where do you never want to go again? You know why they charge you $20 to leave the Manila airport? Because they don't know you'd pay $50. Greyhound bus station in Atlanta. I have never seen such an array of terrifying things happen in one small space. That place is a nightmare. Apparently Gary, Indiana is worth a thread all to itself regarding armpits to live in. I drove through once and was instantly depressed. Will hopefully never return. On a bus tour. It was the most frustrating travel experience of my life. Want to see something? Too bad. Get back on the bus. Done seeing something? Too bad. Wait on the bus. Dubai. Long story short, I ended up unexpectedly spending 8 days there. Never been to a more vacuous, culture deficient place. All it has is shopping and vast inequality and oppression of the poor. Oh, and it's hotter and sweatier than Satan's ballsack. Zimbabwe. Went there to see Victoria Falls. Stayed at the Victoria Falls Hotel to be within walking distance. Everywhere, people were just standing around with just 2 or 3 carved trinkets they were trying to sell. There were absolutely no buyers. Looked like something out of a Twilight Zone show. First thing they asked when you got close to them is if you'd sell them your shoes. No kidding. Every single one. Definitely the UAE Dubai. While flying home from a business trip about a year ago, I was pulled aside at security, forced to remove all my clothing, given a ridiculously intimate and degrading strip search, including spreading over and bending, spreading my ass cheeks and having to retract my foreskin. Forced to stand naked while my belongings were searched and my tattoos were photographed, and then interrogated for over an hour while they looked through my phone, computer and other belongings. I missed my flight and wasn't even given a reason for the search. Luckily I haven't been back and I never will. The Olive Garden in Times Square. Probably the Hollywood Boulevard bit in LA. It's not interesting and ducking busy. The hotter parts of Arizona. I swear that state's population is going to hit 0 if there's a large solar flare or an EMP. Camden, New Jersey. We went to visit a friend there. He says that he can't wait to escape Camden. It's so ugly and dirty. This one toilet in Cusco, Peru, that I totally defiled during a particularly nasty bout of food poisoning. Every time I started to clean up, the cramps returned and I had to my bum back on the seat sharpish. It was like a hellish fusion of Sisyphus and the Augean stables, with added anal burning and shame. The horror. Syria. I hitchhiked from Alexandria to Istanbul, through Jordan and Syria. Before the Arab Spring, Syria was a beautiful and historically fascinating country, naturally fertile and prosperous, with delicious food and friendly people. But it was backward, closed-minded, poor and seedy because of a corrupt, paranoid authoritarian government. Now it's a war zone and a humanitarian disaster, which is far, far worse. On a cruise. It's kind of dark. Apologies for that. So and I got in some sort of a fight one night. Something so stupid I don't even remember. So I went to the casino. And that's all I remember. Leaving for the casino. Next thing I knew I was waking up in a bed in a room I'd never been in before. These 2 dudes were standing there laughing over me. I ran out of the room and found mine. I tried contacting the medical team to get a kit done. They said not to waste their time. I tried notifying the crews of what happened. They also said not to waste their time. So I was terrified and trapped on this cruise with my possible rapists, and the crews didn't give any sort of ducks. Never again. To answer some questions, it was Carnival. About 8 or 9 years ago. I didn't follow up after the cruise as the window was past for figuring out what actually happened. Or at least that's how I felt at the time. I'm doing really well these days. Thanks for the kind wishes. The few angry people. I'm sorry to upset you. You're right too. I could have been smarter. I no longer go out alone. No matter where I am. Don't forget to bring a towel. Aka a friend. Dubai. It's Vegas without the debauchery. Pueblo, Colorado. It's perpetually a Tuesday in 1988 there. Every day. Unless I'm there to chase tornadoes, I never have another reason to ever go to Kansas again. It's just a paved cornfield and I had to drive the entire width of it. At least Iowa had wind turbines to look at. The airport of Moscow. Boy, that place was bad. The bathroom smelled like smoke everywhere. Staff was unfriendly and the gates changed all the time. Maybe it was just a bad day, but geez, that place was unorganized. God damn it, you guys. I came here to get insight for my future travels and all I've learned is to not go to this or that McDonald's in the middle of butt duck nowhere and to avoid that bathroom you exploded in Moscow. Indiana. Traveled for a big sporting event in college and my team was robbed of a championship by the refs. My friends and I left back to the hotel and stop at a gas station en route to get some beer to drown our sorrows. It is 12:10 Sunday morning. They wouldn't sell it to us as Indiana prohibits selling alcohol on Sunday. I went to bed angry and sober. I should have been angry and drunk. China. The place is filthy and polluted. Believe it or not, they do not diaper their babies. I went through a market and set my hand down on something and I set it right into diarrhea. People are constantly hacking up lodgies and spitting them on the street. Every single thing you buy there is junk. No quality in anything whatsoever. They'll sell chicken in the hot sun out of the back of a dirty truck bed. No standards on food handling or health and safety. Sorry if this is overly critical, but I'm a hardcore germ phobie. It tested every fiber of my being. Scunthorpe. Because Scunthorpe. Pattaya, Thailand. Basically Thesic's tourism capital of Thailand. Hobama. Ab. This place had such a bad reputation they changed the name 2 years ago. Obviously not fooling anyone, guys. Japan. During late July early August. The heat and humidity are sweltering and the sun rises around 4:30 am. I've never been so exhausted and miserable on a trip. Lapa. Rio de Janeiro. Pickpocketers run that place. I saw one of my buddies get picked and confronted the pickpocketer in hopes of getting his stuff back. They proceeded to kick my ass. Just skip it. Duckingary, Indiana. Came off the exit immediately into a neighborhood that looked like it was hit with some natural disaster before and never recovered. But no, they're just too broke to fix their roads or anything. We tried to cut through the neighborhood as fast as possible but the potholes made us not go over 25. We finally got to a gas station and the guy at the register said, yeah, you all should get out soon. It's about the time when they start robbing people. Advice taken. Got the duck out of there. Yakima, WA. They might call it the Palm Springs of Washington or Yakivagus, but it's an absolute atoll. Highest rate of carjacking in the country and rife with violent crime. I had a friend that went there for a soccer match when he was in high school, and the match was cancelled because one of the kids on the other team was a gang member and some heads drove by and shot at the players on the field. Luckily nobody was hurt, but gives you an idea of what sort of special atoll Yakima is. That said, the Yakima Valley makes some amazing fruit and hops. If you've ever had a Washington apple or a craft beer from anywhere in the US, there's a very high chance that the apple or the hops came from the Yakima Valley. Came here just to control plus F for my good ole hometown of Gary, Indiana, every time. Pickering, Ontario. I can't even really describe why, but if you've been you know. Walnut Creek, CA. 1. No walnuts. 2. No creeks. 3. Nothing to do unless you wanna retire there. Dubai. I thought it would be fun to see all the skyscrapers and supercars. Got tired of it in 5 minutes. A Wendy's in Mississippi. Smelled like a zoo. Looked like a zoo. We just moonwalked back through the door seconds after coming in. I've never seen anyone say Maine on one of these. Yeah, it's a beautiful place and all, but the people there ducking hate tourists. It's like they're mad you're there supporting their economy. Restaurants, hotels, didn't matter where. People were rude as duck. East St. Louis. I was meeting a colleague for dinner at a Mexican restaurant in a not terrible part of East St. Louis. Unfortunately, Apple Maps took me into a desolate neighborhood with gigantic potholes in the streets and empty lots interspersed with abandoned houses on either side. Thankfully, it was a 90th July afternoon and no one was out and about. I stopped in the middle of one street, looked around, saw no one, and entered the same address into Google Maps. This time it took me to the restaurant. Downtown LA. I'm from Los Angeles and I have been to a lot of places, but I never want to go there ever. United Arab Emirates. Why anyone ever decided to start a city where it's 120 degrees and 90+% humidity every day is far beyond me.